All right. I think we have a quorum. So, all right, it's yoga time. Welcome to class, everybody. So let's get started in child's pose. If you need some guidance getting into the pose, you can start on your hands and knees. Bring your big toes together to touch. Sit your hips back towards your heels. Separate your knees or bring your knees together. Fold your torso over your thighs. And then bring your forehead resting on your mat. Now, if you have to make any adjustments, you can choose to bring your forehead to your mat. Reason for that is when your forehead is resting on your mat, it's a signal to the rest of your body that it can relax as well. So give a little wiggle, give a little fidget, make any adjustments you need to. Bring yourself into a position of stillness and softness. Then welcome yourself to your mat for your practice. So to start with, nothing to do, just move into stillness and softness. Just you and your gravity and your mat. Begin to pay attention to your breath. Don't do anything dramatic. You don't need to do anything exceedingly. Just notice your inhales and notice your exhales. As you inhale, you may feel the air pass through your nostrils, feel your lungs and rib cage expand. As you exhale, feel the warmer air come out of your nostrils. Your body softens and relaxes. Maybe your belly droops down a little bit. Feel your body weight sink into your mat. If your arms are in front of you, just make sure you have a little bend into your elbows so that your forearms align flat onto your mat. So you don't want to use any muscles to prop yourself up. Now, for some years, I was always struggling in child's pose because my nose was getting pushed down into my mat. So I was always struggling with that. Very easy solution. You just tuck your chin a little bit so your nose isn't pressed into your mat. I may have been the only person in the history of yoga to ever experience that, but that's my resolution. The next order of business is to begin to take conscious control of your breath. So your breath is your main guiding force throughout your practice. It serves as both your metronome and as your barometer. As your metronome, it guides your movements. Everybody breathes at a different pace. So the whole idea behind a Vinyasa flow practice is to link breath and movement. And as far as a barometer, your breath is a good indicator how your body is feeling at any given time. So if you ever feel as though you're inhaling greedily or exhaling desperately, it's a good indication. Maybe back off a little bit, come back to child's pose, regain your strength, come back and join us when you're ready. So work hard when you can, but rest when you need to. One of the traditions in Yoga to the People is to take collective breaths. There are lots of benefits. It relaxes your face and relaxes your central nervous system. But most importantly, make sure that you take complete empty exhales in order to take complete full inhales. I like to focus a lot on the exhales because your inhales take care of themselves, but your exhales have a lot of benefits and purposes. It tells your body that it's safe and you can relax. Let's try one of those now. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, turn it into an exhale. Squeeze your lungs empty all the way to the very bottom. Hold your lungs empty for a beat. Take a deep full inhale through your nose all the way to the very top. Sip in a little more air. Take a pause at the top. Then open your mouth, exhale, make some noise, H-A, ha. You can make any noise you want. You can flutter your lips, H-M, hmm. You can sing like you're in an opera, you're maybe by yourself. Just make some little vibrational noise, or just a soft sigh. It sort of emphasizes this whole breath cycle. All right, let's have some fun. Now begin to gently bring some movement into your child's pose. Begin to activate and engage. Maybe rock your forehead side to side. Massage between your eyebrows and your forehead. Maybe carry that motion down your spine. A little bit of a rocking sensation through your spine. Maybe down into your hips. Maybe you begin to exaggerate the motion a little bit. And if your arms are not out in front of you, crawl your arms out long in front of you. Begin to engage and activate. Maybe inchworm your right fingertips a little forward, then your left fingertips like a little bit of a swimming motion. You're stretching one side of your body, then the other. Maybe tent up on your fingertips. The two big spiders that only have 5 legs. Lift your elbows and forearms off your mat. Maybe press your chest down into your mat a little bit. Stretch along your side body. In some engaged position, stick of breath is going to feel a little funny. Exhale into your lungs. Take a deep, full breath in through your nose. Then open mouth, exhale. Next inhale, come up into a tabletop position. That's all fours. Bring your hands directly under your shoulders. Stack your elbows and shoulders in one straight line. Bring your knees directly under your hips. A straight line from your wrist up to your elbow and through your shoulders. Spread your fingers as wide as you can. Try to take as much air out from underneath your palms. You want as much skin in the palm of your hands into your mat as possible. Do some cats and cows. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your head, lift your tailbone, and look up for cow. As you exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin. For cat, look at your navel. Inhale for cow, try to touch the back of your head on your tailbone. Maybe point your elbows to the side, traction your palms back toward your knees, stretch your underbelly. Exhale, point the elbows back, press your hips forward into cat. That's just a way to activate things a little bit differently. Just move through a series of these on your breath. Inhale, something like a cow. You can invite additional movements. You can kind of move side to side, wiggle your tail, take C curve shapes. And exhale, something cat-ish. You rock forward side to side, move this way and that. Activate your shoulders, maybe move your body in big swirly motions, or maybe a shape I can't even describe. Just do some exploration, take some inventory. Notice your body is different every day, or even different parts of the day. Just move it around, see how things feel. Now, next time you come to a cat, really exaggerate this position. Really spread your shoulder blades, press your middle spine up toward the ceiling like you're creating a stegosaurus spine. Take an inhale, curl your toes under, and exhale, lift your knees just 1 inch off your mat. So you're hovering with the knees off your mat. Now, exaggerate pressing through your shoulder blades, expanding your upper back, round your spine, look at your navel. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. Don't get too panicked. You can always lower your knees back down. If you want a little more activity, you can do cats and cows with your knees lifted. So inhale, drop your belly, lift your head, look up. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, look at your navel. Take one more inhale, maybe come into a cow. And then exhale, send your hips up toward the ceiling, move into downward facing dog. So first downward facing dog, it's not a finished product to begin with. Moving around, break it apart, pedal out your feet. Lift one foot, lift the other. Maybe alternate weight on your hands, like you're walking on your hands. Just see how that activates different parts of your body. Move it around, break it apart. Bend your knees a little or a lot. Look under one arm, look under the other, stretch your side body. Now, in addition to child's pose, which I think of as home base number 1, downward facing dog is home base number 2. So lots of details, let's set it up. Take a look back at your feet, set them up hip width distance, about the size of your head between your inner arches. And make your feet parallel like the number 11 so your heels are hidden behind you. Now take a look at your hands about shoulder width distance, maybe a little wider. This is really where there's a lot of detail. I'm actually going to come up to the camera. So what I have to do when I come into downward facing dog, I press the pad of my thumb into my mat and kind of skid it forward. And then I actually press the first knuckles of my hand into my mat. I actually made a little diagram for you. So the first thing you do is press your palm into your mat, your pad of your thumb, and then sequentially press each knuckle where your finger meets your palm, press that down into your mat. By doing that, builds a nice strong foundation so you don't load up on that little bump on the outside of your wrist. Take a breath, exhale into your lungs. Take a deep pull inhale through your nose, and open mouth, exhale. Next inhale, lift your right leg straight back behind you so it's horizontal. Take a look at your toes, flex your toes toward your face and point your toes straight down. Press equal weight into both hands, press your heart toward your thighs, and squeeze your left leg straight. Next inhale, point your toes, kick your right leg up nice and high. Then when you exhale, bend your knee, stack your hips, move around. So right knee, right hip above left, right knee toward the ceiling. Now if you want to activate this a little more, actively press your right palm into your mat and pull your right hip away from your right lower ribs. Create a big stretch in your right side body. Look under or over your left arm, point your right knee up toward the ceiling, maybe press it behind you or toward the back of your room. Inhale, square your hips, kick your right leg up. Exhale, drop your right toes down to your mat. Press your palms flat into your mat. Inhale, send your left leg straight back behind you. Put your toes toward your face, point your left toes straight down.
So your hips are nice and square toward your mat. Press equal weight in both hands and try to stamp your heel on whatever it is that's behind you. Inhale, point your toes, kick your left leg up nice and high. Exhale, bend your knees, stack your hips. If you want to do that activated version of this, actively press your left palm down into your mat. Pull your left hip away from your left lower ribs. Point your left knee toward the ceiling. Roll open your left hip. Look under or over your right arm. Move your hip around. You'd like to sort of lubricate your hip. Inhale, square your hips. Keep your left leg up high. Exhale, drop your toes down to your mat. Take an inhale, look forward to the front of your mat. And as you exhale, take a nice casual tiptoe stroll all the way to the front of your mat and arrive in forward fold. Now bend your knees a little or a lot. Maybe a lot is good. Drape your torso over your thighs and hang your head nice and heavy. Grab opposite elbows. Sway side to side and ragdoll. Maybe hug behind your knees. Pull your torso into your thighs. Maybe interlace your fingers behind your head. Not to pull down, just have some extra weight, just so gravity can help relax your whole upper body. Take a look at your feet, set them up hip width distance. If you want to measure, that's two soft fists firmly between your inner arches, like a capital letter H. Take a look at the outside edges of your feet. Make them parallel to the sides of your mat. So it's probably toes in and heels out a little bit. Next inhale, come up to a half lift. Now, this is the part of class where I feel we've just turned the switch on. This is an active pose. So maybe your hands are up on your thighs. Maybe you press your upper body away, so you're lengthening your spine as much as you can. If your hands are on your shins, maybe bring your fingertips together, press the tips of your fingers into your shins, press your tailbone up toward the ceiling, elongate your neck. So take the wrinkle out of the back of your neck, pull your shoulders away from your ears, and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Squeeze your legs nice and straight, press your tailbone toward the ceiling, search for sensation along the backs of your legs. Roll some weight forward on your fronts of your feet. Each inhale, activate and extend, arch your upper spine. And then exhale, lower just a millimeter, search for sensation along the backs of your legs. Take one more inhale. And exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale, come up for a half lift. Exhale, sweep your arms forward, bring your biceps by your ears. Then next inhale, just tilt your body up, rise up to extended mountain pose. Now we're just standing with our arms up overhead, but this is yoga, so we make it a little more involved. Maybe you close your eyes and bring attention to your feet. Maybe rock side to side, maybe forward back a little bit. Find out where your weight is distributed on your feet. And if you close your eyes, your other senses get a chance to work as well. Now rock about 2/3 of your weight back onto your heels. Press your big toe mounds into your mat, lift up on your inner arches. Engage your entire lower leg, build a nice strong foundation. Now pull up on your kneecaps, engage your thighs. Point your tailbone straight down toward your mat. Suck your low belly up and in. So below your navel, suck that in toward your spine, create a nice strong pelvic tilt. Grow up nice and tall out of your waistband, like you're trying to pull your rib cage away from your hips. Activate your fingertips. Now, if you want to try this, interlace your fingers, drop your fingers behind your head like a basket for your back of your head. Press your elbows back behind you and then look up. What you're trying to do here is activate the muscles between your shoulder blades. So those muscles that run, your extensor muscles that run along your spine. These are the ones we abuse all day, looking at screens and looking at devices. This is a nice little counter activity toward that. So whenever I say arch your spine, this is the activation I'm looking for. Release your arms and reach your fingertips up toward the ceiling. Take an inhale, grow up nice and tall, reach your fingertips up, maybe a little back bend, press your hips forward. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold, drain your lungs on the way down. Put that to breath. Inhale, sweep your arms up, rise up, extended mountain pose. Maybe press your palms, drive your fingertips up toward the ceiling, arch your upper spine. When your exhale comes, hinge forward, forward fold, completely drain your lungs on the way down. One more time, one breath, one movement. Inhale, rise up. Like you're riding a wave up, maybe cactus your arms, shine your heart toward the ceiling. When your exhale comes, hinge forward, forward fold, all the way down. Inhale up for a half lift, nice and active. Roll way forward on your toes. And exhale, hinge forward, forward fold, plant your hands on your mat, step your feet back to high plank position and pause. Now that'll be here for a couple of moments. That if it gets to be a little too challenging, you can always lower your knees onto your mat, but stay nice and solid. Really squeeze your legs nice and straight. Stack your heels directly above your toes. Maybe traction the heels of your hands toward your toes. Activate your core muscles. Set up your hands like we had them in downward facing dog. Spread your fingers nice and wide. We're going to set up our vinyasa flow. We do it to breath. Stay with me in the first one. Take an inhale. Press yourself away from your mat. Rock forward 2 inches. Exhale, slowly lower just halfway down. Only halfway. Lower is not better. Inhale, upward facing dog. Roll over the tops of your toes. Straighten your arms. Shine your heart up. Maybe look up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Curl your toes under. Now, when you get to downward facing dog, set up your hands again. Press the pads of your thumbs into your mat. Press your knuckles, first knuckles down to your mat, and then think about the second knuckles as well. The middle of your fingers, gently press that down. Just use your whole hand to build a nice strong foundation. Let's take a breath. Exhale into your lungs. Deep full breath in. And exhale, HA. Next inhale, send your right leg up and back, kick nice and high. Heel up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, grab your spine, tuck your chin, look at your navel. Inhale, send your right leg up and back. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right tricep, look over your right shoulder, try to make everything touch. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, cross under your body, bring your right knee to your left elbow, try to make them touch, look left. Inhale, send your right leg up and back. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, gently step your right foot between your hands, lower your left knee to your mat, uncurl your left toes. Now take a nice long stride. You may want to crawl your left toes further back, crawl your right toes a little bit further forward for runner's lunge. Now you don't want to be on your back knee. You want to have your more like the top of your back thigh. But don't overdo it, but just search for sensation. And bring your hands to your mat, frame your right foot. Press your hips down and forward. Maybe you press the top of your left foot into your mat. Maybe even lift your left knee and just search for sensation. Try to stretch and isolate the top front of your left thigh, your left hip flexor. If you want to go a little deeper, bring your hands to the top of your right thigh, interlace your fingers, and push your right thigh muscle away from you. Stack your shoulders directly above your hips. Maybe press your hips down and forward. Maybe even squeeze your right glute a little bit. Want to do a little more. Interlace your fingers at your low back. Create one big fist, straighten your elbows. Drive your knuckles down toward your mat. Shine your heart up toward the ceiling to open up. Take one more inhale. Then exhale, plant your hands on your mat. Step your right foot back and move through a flow. Now maybe you go only an inch down. Then you come into upward facing dog and then into downward facing dog. Lots of options. Next inhale, send your left leg up and back. Kick nice and high. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, round your spine, tuck your chin. Inhale, send your left leg up and back. Exhale, bring your left knee to your left tricep. Try to make it touch. Look over your left shoulder. Inhale, send your left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee to your right elbow. Lift your left hip up to the right. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Step your right foot between your hands. Maybe walk your back foot a little further back behind you. Lower your right knee, uncurl your right toes. Runner's lunge. Press your hips down and forward. Again, don't overdo it. You can make it feel like work, but not regret. You want to activate a little more. Maybe press the top of your right foot into your mat. Maybe even lift your right knee. Again, looking to isolate your hip flexor, top front of your right thigh. You want to go a little deeper. Bring your hands to the top of your left thigh, interlace your fingers. Press your left thigh muscle away from you. Stack your shoulders above your hips. And maybe squeeze your right glute, activate a little more, press your hips down and forward, maybe sink a little bit lower. Interlace your fingers at your low back, drive your knuckles down towards your mat. Maybe look up, broaden across your collarbone, squeeze your shoulder blades together, shine your heart toward the ceiling. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your mat, step your left foot back, and move through a flow. Exhale, slowly lower halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Next inhale, send your right leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose just one time. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Keep your back heel lifted. Keep your left hand planted. Inhale, sweep your right arm up toward the ceiling for a low lunge, revolve, twist. Now place your left hand so your left fingertips are about in line with your right toes, maybe about a handprint between your hand and your foot. Press down with your left hand as you lift up with your right fingers, create these opposing forces within your body. Now squeeze your left leg straight, lift your left hip. So everything from your navel down, twist left, everything from your navel up, twist right. Use your left eyeball to look at the back of your right hand. Take one more inhale, twist open, peel your torso away from your thigh. Exhale, bring your hands to your mat, frame your right foot. Now set up for high lunge. Stack your left heel directly above your left toes, as high as you can. Squeeze your left leg straight, press your hips down and forward. Inhale, tilt your body up, sweep your arms up, crescent lunge. Now the secret to this pose is to activate your back leg as much as you can. So try to have your left leg do twice as much work as your right leg. Point your tailbone down, suck your low belly up and in. So it's not a back bend. Bring your biceps by your ears, use your arms as levers, stack your shoulders above your hips. Take one more inhale, sit low, reach high. Press your thumbs toward the back of the room. Exhale very slowly, bring your hands to your mat, step your right foot back, and move through a flow. Back in downward facing dog, flatten your palms down into your mat. Sequentially press everything into your mat, maybe even your fingertips a little bit this time. Get everything in your hands activated. Next inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose just one time. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, step your left foot between your hands. Maybe take a longer stride front to back. Keep your right heel lifted, keep your right hand planted. Inhale, sweep your left arm up. Low lunge, revolve, twist. Activate your right leg, lift your right hip. Everything from your navel down, twist to the right. Everything from your navel up, twist to the left. Push your right hand away from you, reach your left fingertips up. Shine your heart directly toward the left side of your room. Arch your upper spine. Take one more inhale, peel your torso away from your left thigh, shine your heart open. Exhale, bring your left hand to your mat, frame your left foot. Squeeze your right leg straight, as straight as you can, stack your heel above your toes. Press your hips down and forward. Inhale, tilt your body up, rise up, crescent lunge. Now, think of your back leg, make it do twice as much work as your front. Squeeze your right leg straight. Use your right glute to press your right hip forward. Now, scissor your inner thighs together. It's like you're dragging your right toes forward and your left heel back. Soften your shoulders away from your ears and squeeze your arms nice and straight. Activate your fingertips. Take one more inhale, sit low, reach high. Press your thumbs toward the back of the room. Exhale, slowly bring your hands to your mat, frame your left foot, step your left foot back, and take yourself through a flow. Now, when you get back to downward facing dog, put that together, one breath, one movement. Low lunge, revolve, twist, into high lunge, one time on the right side, one time on the left side, with a flow after each. Now use your breath to guide your movement. Take full, complete inhales and complete empty exhales. Use your breath to guide your movement. Inhale to move and exhale to move again. You're not ever really stopping. You're just pausing momentarily as you transition from an inhale to an exhale or an exhale to an inhale. You have choices to make. You move fast, move slow. Just use your breath as your guide. Child's pose, always a nice option. Counting beautiful movements. When you get back to downward facing dog, keep it active. Set up your hands first. Press your pads of your thumbs down into your mat. Sequentially press your knuckles down into your mat. Second row of knuckles, fingertips. Maybe give a little bit of grip. But really, really mash your palms, the center of your palms like a suction cup. Press that down into your mat. Take a breath. Exhale up your lungs. Take a deep full breath in through your nose. And open mouth, exhale. Next inhale, send your right leg up and back. Exhale, slowly step your right foot between your hands. If it doesn't reach, give a little help. Spin your back heel down to your mat. Inhale, arms up, rise up, warrior one. Now, if you need to heel toe your right foot to the right a little bit, go ahead and do that. Press the outside edge of your left foot into your mat. Squeeze your left leg straight. Use your left glute to press your left hip forward. Now, the whole idea with that hip flexor warm up and stretch we did is to get us ready so we can tend to try to square our hips off toward the front of the room. So squeeze your left leg straight, full belly up and in, and stack your shoulders directly above your hips. Stack your right knee above your right ankle. Go ahead and take a look. If you can't see a little sliver of your instep, just nudge your right knee to the right a little bit. Each inhale, maybe activate your fingertips, and exhale, maybe soften and deepen. Take one more inhale, sit low, reach high. Exhale, warrior two, right arm forward, left arm back. Now notice the choreography of your feet. You want to take a longer stride front to back and bring the outside edge of your left foot parallel with the back of your mat. Maybe heel toe your right foot a little to the left so you have sort of heel to heel alignment between your feet, and maybe heel to inner arch. Now if you want to make a self-adjustment, you bring your left hand to your left hip, right hand to your right thigh, stack your torso directly above your hips, and then peel your left hip open. Maybe encourage your right knee open a little bit so you square your body off to your left side. Drive your heels into your mat, squeeze your heels toward each other. Take one more inhale, sit low, reach long. Exhale, big exaggerated windmill, left arm up and over, forward and down. Straighten your right foot, step your right foot back and pause. Shift your weight into your left hand. Roll on the outside edge of your left foot, sweep your right arm up, side plank. Now, lots of options. You can stagger your feet, lower a knee, lower an elbow, but press your right hip up toward the ceiling, create a rainbow shape with your torso, and press both hips forward to a straight line from your legs through your torso and out the crown of your head. Take some options. Bring your right hand forward, lift your right leg, super strong. Take one more inhale. Exhale, slowly bring your right hand to your mat and take yourself through a flow. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Next inhale, send your left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose without momentum. Step your left foot between your hands, spin your back heel down. Inhale, arms up, rise up, warrior one. Now start with the outside edge of your right foot. Press it down into your mat. Squeeze your right leg straight. Bring your shoulders over your hips. Really engage the front of your right leg. That's your power source. Try to make your back leg do more work than your front. Use your right glute. Press your right hip forward. Send your left hip back. Just try to, you'll never really get there, but just try to attempt to square yourself toward the front of your own. Finish the job with your shoulders. Fingertips nice and active. Squeeze your elbows straight. Sort of a shallow V with your arms, whatever seems to work. Stack your left knee directly above your left ankle. Soft gaze off to the horizon. Take one more inhale. Sit low, reach high. Exhale, warrior two. Left arm forward, right arm back. Now maybe you figured out the choreography with your feet a little bit. Just keep it in mind. Press the outside edge of your right foot into your mat. Squeeze your right leg straight. You want to do that self-adjustment. Right hand, right hip. Left hand, left thigh. Straighten your torso up. Encourage your right hip open. Maybe sort of roll your left thigh open a little bit. So you just flatten your body, stack everything into a flat plane. Drive your heels into your mat, squeeze your heels together. Notice that creates some buoyancy in your whole lower body. Suck your tailbone, lower belly in, point your tailbone down. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Take one more inhale, sit low, reach long. Exhale, big exaggerated windmill, right arm up, over, forward, down. Frame your left foot. Step your left foot back and pause. Shift your weight into your right hand. Roll over the outside edge of your right foot. Left arm up. Side plank. Now, left and right can be very different. You take out different options on this side. And I call this pose my victory pose. It took me some years to get to the point that I just didn't instantly collapse. So the good news is, if a broken down old guy like me can do it, you can probably do it too. Send your hips up toward the ceiling, create a rainbow shape with your torso. Press your hips forward, create a long straight line. Take some options if you want. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bring your left hand down, lower yourself, and take yourself through a flow. When you get back to downward facing dog, put that together. One breath, one movement. Warrior one, warrior two, side plank. One time on the right side, one time on the left side, with a flow after each. Take it away. Deep full inhales, complete empty exhales. And maybe you close your eyes. Not a lot to see. It's probably very few, if anybody, around you. It's okay if you get wobbly. Make it feel like you're literally flowing, like your body is flowing through space or some viscous liquid. And your breath is flowing in and out of you. That's the sensation you want to try to create for yourself. So it's more about the experience versus trying to accomplish something. May have stolen that little phrase from a fellow teacher. Beautiful, Natalie. A lovely upward facing dog, David. Very nice. If you're moving, keep moving. You're right where you're supposed to be. If you're in back of downward facing dog, make it nice and active. Use your arms to press weight back into your feet. Maybe rise up on your tippy toes. Squeeze your legs straight. And then soften your heels down toward your mat. Just notice if that changes how everything in your lower body tends to behave. Take a breath. Exhale with your lungs. Take a deep, full breath in through your nose. And open mouth, exhale. Take an inhale, look forward to the front of your mat. And as you exhale, take a walk or take a hop toward the front of your mat, forward fold. 10 of your feet, hip width distance. You want to measure, maybe toes in, heels out. Inhale, half lift. Reach the crown of your head forward, pull your shoulders away from your ears, press your tailbone toward the ceiling, and exhale, forward fold. Next inhale, bend your knees, sit your hips low, raise your arms up for chair pose. Now, this is the most deceptively named pose ever, I think, because there's actually no chair, so you get to do all the work. Send your hips back toward the back of the room, so if you look down, take a look at your second toe. Point your second toe straight toward the front and track your kneecaps directly above your second toe, so nothing is bowing in or bowing out, your feet are very parallel. Rock 2/3 of your weight back into your heels. Point your tailbone down to your mat, suck your low belly up and in, knit your lower ribs together so everything's not flared out. Keep yourself nice and strong through your whole core. Bring your biceps by your ears, soften your shoulders away from your ears. Each inhale, reach up a little higher. Each exhale, maybe sit a little lower. Take an inhale, sit low, reach high, maybe look up. And exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Shake it out, shake it off. Take a moment, take a breath. Just sort of learn how to get into rest as quickly and as completely as you can. So let go, let your body soften, take some recovery breaths. Next inhale, bend your knees, sit your hips low, arms up, chair pose. Now, been here before, set up your lower body, weight toward your heels, shins more parallel, more vertical. Low belly up and in, tailbone down. Now interlace your palms, press your palms, interlace your fingers, flip your palms away from you, and press your palms away so you're like pulling your rib cage away from your hips. Now bring your biceps by your ears. Notice it's probably a little easier because your arms are connected. Each inhale, sit a little lower. Exhale, press your palms away. Bring your biceps by your ears. Inhale, press your palms away. Exhale, sit a little lower, bring your biceps by your ears. Take one more inhale, sit low, press your palms away. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. Good news, that could be the hardest thing we'll do all day, so we get that out of the way. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, forward fold. Step your feet back and take yourself through a flow. Back and down facing dogs, take a breath, exhale into your lungs. Take a deep full breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Next inhale, send your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Spin your back heel down to your mat and pause. Maybe heel toe your right foot to the right just a little bit. Inhale, power lunge. Sweep your arms back by your hips like airplane wings. Lift your torso off your thigh. Turn to 45 degrees from the outside edge of your left foot all the way through the crown of your head. Arms back by your hips like airplane wings. Now straighten your arms. Face your palms down toward your mat. And try to touch your pinkies together behind you. It's a lot of work. Press your left hip down and forward, squeeze your left leg straight. Interlace your fingers at your low back. Squeeze your elbows straight, like one big fist. Drive your knuckles down back behind you, broaden across your collarbones. Take an inhale, open up your chest. Exhale, release your grip, sweep your arms down, forward and up, bring your biceps by your ears for extended power lunge. Now this is even a little bit harder. Use your breath. Deeper exhales, bigger inhales. One long straight line, the outside edge of your back foot, out through your fingertips. Take an exhale. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. And exhale, open up, warrior two. Take a moment, take a breath, set up your warrior two. Gaze over your right fingertips, flip your right palm toward the ceiling. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, fingertips toward the ceiling, reverse warrior. Now, without looking, feel as though your right knee may be collapsing inward. Just nudge it to the right a little bit. With your left hand to your left thigh, left shin. And reach your right fingertips straight up. So big stretch along your right side body. Maybe look at your left foot. Square your body off toward your left. Bring your chin to your armpit. And trace your gaze up your right arm, out your right fingertips. Take one more inhale, reach high. Exhale, return to warrior two. Gaze in front of your right foot. Place your right hand in front of your right foot. Lift your left leg up. Straighten your left leg. Lift your left leg up. Straighten your right leg for balancing half moon. So right fingertips down to your mat. Left leg up straight. Horizontal. Left fingertips up toward the ceiling. Maybe take some weight out of your right fingertips. Maybe look up toward the ceiling. Lift your left leg a little higher. Squeeze your left leg straight. Take one more inhale, expand in all directions. Exhale, slowly step your left foot back to your mat, return to warrior two. Flip your palm, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior, just one breath. Take an inhale, sit low, reach high. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to your mat. Step your right foot back and move through a flow. Next inhale, send your left leg up and back, kick nice and high. Exhale, quiet like a ninja, step your left foot between your hands and pause. Pivot your back heel down into your mat, press your hips down and forward. Inhale, sweep your arms back by your hips like airplane wings, lift your torso 45 degrees off your thigh, power lunge. Now squeeze your right leg straight. Let it into the game, press the right foot down into your mat, press your right hip forward. Suck your torso up and in. Arch your upper spine. Squeeze your elbows straight. Try to touch your pinkies back behind you. Really squeeze your shoulder blades. Arch your upper spine. Interlace your fingers at your low back. Squeeze your elbows straight. Drive your knuckles down toward your back heel. Broaden across your collarbones. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release your grip. Sweep your arms down, forward and up. Bring your biceps by your ears for extended power lunge. Now, power comes from the outside edge of your right foot. Squeeze your right leg straight. Press your right hip down and forward. Suck your low belly up and in. Flatten out your tailbone. Bring your biceps by your ears. Activate your fingertips. Take an exhale. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Wait till you get there. Begin to exhale. Open up, warrior two. Take a moment, take a breath. Set up your warrior two. Gaze over your left fingertips. Flip your palm toward the ceiling. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reach your left fingertips up for reverse warrior. The right hand, right thigh. If you wrap around for half bind, make it active. So you want to actively press your right fingertips, right palm into the top hip crease of your left thigh. Push your body up and away. So you're growing nice and tall and you're squaring your body off. Maybe look back at your right foot. Square your body toward the right side of your room or your mat. Bring your chin to your left armpit. Trace your gaze up your left arm, across your left fingertips. Take one more inhale, sit low. Exhale, warrior two. Gaze in front of your left foot. Bring your left hand in front of your left foot. Lift your right leg up, straighten your left leg, or balancing half moon. Now, left and right can be different. Maybe you need to take some options. Stack your right hip above your left, so you're stacking your torso in as flat of a position like you're between two panes of glass. Maybe you bring your chin to your right shoulder and look up. Take one more inhale, expand in all directions. Exhale, step your right foot to the back of your mat. It's okay if you hop a couple of times. Return to warrior two. Flip your left palm, inhale, reach forward, then reach forward a little more. Stay in your lunge, exhale. Left arm up, reverse warrior. One breath, inhale. Exhale, big exaggerated windmill, right arm up, over and down. Step your left foot back and move through a flow. All right, beautiful work, everybody. Back and down facing dog. Maybe shake it out, shake it off, shake your legs a little bit, get some blood flow back in. Now return to stillness, press your heart back toward your thighs. Hollow out your armpits, wrap your triceps toward each other, and press your palms flat down into your mat. Just take a breath, exhale. Take a deep full inhale. And open mouth, HA. All right, here we go. We get to slow it down, heading into half pigeon. Now, if you're not familiar, or even if you are, if you want to take figure 4, I'll talk you through that as well. But let's set up half pigeon. Inhale, sit your right leg up and back. If you like, you can bend your right knee, stack your hips, move it around, swivel out your hip. When you're ready, bring your right knee outside your right wrist. If you're not sure, go a little wider. The reason for that is so you can create some space so that your hips can settle down toward your mat. Now send your left leg straight back behind you. Go ahead and take a look. It's not in the middle of your mat, just nudge it there. It's probably off to the left a little bit. Maybe walk your hands back by your hips, or bring your left hand to your sole of your left foot, right hand to your right knee. Press your hips down and forward. You can stay here for as long as you want. This is the pigeon part. You may notice everything kind of softens, and your hips and the top of your left thigh may find its way down to your mat. Maybe the outside of your right hip may come a little closer. When you're ready, lower down to your elbows. Maybe make an adjustment. Press your left hip down and forward. And then continue your descent down into half pigeon. Now, if this is not compatible with your body or for any other reason, just roll over your back. Take a figure 4. I'll demonstrate in just a second. But if you're in half pigeon, try to support your head on something. Maybe it's your mat, maybe it's stacked hands or fists. Maybe any little prop in your room, blanket, towel, pillow. Reason for that is same principle as how we started in child's pose. When your head and neck relax, it allows the rest of your body to relax as well. Now, if you're not familiar with figure 4, if you're on your back, bend your left knee, plant your left foot on your mat, cross your right ankle over your left lower thigh. Then interlace your fingers at the back of your left hamstring or even your left shin. It's a little more active. You pull your left knee toward you as you press your right knee away with your elbow. And don't overdo it, go easy. So whatever pose you're in, make it a little bit dynamic. So as you inhale, just scan your body, look for areas of muscular effort. And then as you exhale, just try to soften. Inhale, scan your body. And exhale, so let gravity do a little bit of the work. Now it is still a pose, so stay involved. But just guide everything with your breath. Deepen your inhales, lengthen your exhales. Let's take a breath together. Exhale. Take a smooth breath in through your nose. And exhale, HM. Take 2 more cycles of breath. Then when you get there, begin to navigate your way out of the pose. Come out nice and slowly, like you're getting up from a nap and you just don't want to. It's like you're a cranky toddler. It's like, no, I don't want to get up. Just very slowly, lift yourself up. Place one hand under a shoulder, then the other. Lift your torso. Curl your left toes under, lift your left knee. Send your right leg up and back. Move it around, shake it about. Maybe take yourself through a flow or 3-legged dog, whatever feels good. And however you manage to get there, we'll regroup in downward facing dog, set up for left side. Inhale, left leg up and back, bend your knees, stack your hips, move around. When you're ready, bring your left knee outside your left wrist. Again, if you're not sure, go a little wider. Create space under your hips so your hips get to sit under your thighs, or between your thighs, so you have more room to settle your hips down toward your mat. Right leg straight back behind you, top of your right foot on your mat. If you want to walk your hands back by your hips, again, searching for the front of your right thigh, hip flexor. Stay here for as many breaths as you like. You can even activate a little bit. Press the top of your right foot into your mat, and press the outside of your left ankle into your mat. Notice how that isolates the outside of your left thigh. Then when you're ready, no rush at all. Maybe lower down to your elbows. Stay here for as long as you want. Maybe make an adjustment. Press your right hip down. And when you're ready, lower yourself all the way down to your mat. This pose is probably a good indication that your left and right sides of your body might be quite dissimilar. I mean, we look symmetrical, but we're certainly not identical. So we'll make some adjustments, maybe even figure 4 as an option on this side. Now we've had a few moments to settle down. We got to lower our respiration and heart rates on the first side. Make sure you're staying involved. Just pay attention to your breath. If nothing else, just maintain conscious control, deepen your inhales and lengthen your exhales. If that's all working out, as you inhale, scan your body, identify some muscular tension or some effort, and exhale, just think about softening. Now, your body protects itself from injury, so it's going to resist anything that it fears is dangerous. But if you're in control, you may be able to override that reflex. But that all starts with just awareness of how your body is feeling in different poses, in different movements. Nothing forceful. Now I inhale. Now I exhale. Let's take a breath together. Gently exhale into your lungs. Take a smooth, deep breath in through your nose. And exhale, HM. Yeah, try to vibrate your body. Now, it's been said that when the pose starts to feel uncomfortable, that's when the pose begins. You just notice those sensations. Notice how it feels when that happens. Go ahead and begin to transition out. Bring one hand under a shoulder, then the other. Lift your upper body, curl your right toes under, lift your right knee, send your left leg up and back, move it around, and I invite you to take the final flow of class. Maybe take this one at a very different pace. Maybe you linger in low plank for a breath, touch your nose on your mat. Maybe you linger in upward facing dog for a couple breaths, press your hips down and forward. Really arch your upper spine, shine your heart forward and up. Then we'll meet in downward facing dog also for the final time. Maybe just think about some little tidbit. Think about your hands a little bit. Identify all your knuckles, what's going on with them. Use your arms to press weight back into your feet. Now inhale, bring your hands above your shoulders, high plank position. We're going to be here for a few breaths. Just notice what's going on in your body, how you're feeling. Maybe saying, I don't want to be doing this right now. But squeeze your legs straight. Notice when you activate your legs, it kind of changes how your body is working. Stack your heels directly above your toes. Maybe traction the heels of your hands towards your toes. Don't dump into your shoulders, really press out of your shoulders. Take an inhale. Exhale, rock forward. Then lower yourself all the way down to your mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Leave your hands right where they are. Bring the tops of your feet onto your mat. Squeeze your legs together. Maybe you just slide your hands back a little bit so they're further back behind, underneath your middle of your hand about the edge of your nipples. Squeeze your legs together. Exhale, press your hips into your mat. Inhale, peel your upper body up for low cobra. Now, no weight in your hands, but maybe like traction your hands back. Point your elbows back behind you, and then use your upper back muscles to peel your torso up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Press the tops of your feet into your mat. Maybe lift your knees. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release. Look to your right. Bring your left cheek to your mat. Bring your arms by your sides, palms face up. Let your heels flop open. Bring your chin to your mat and look forward. Zip up your legs, bring your toes and heels together to touch. Interlace your fingers at your low back. Squeeze your palms together, squeeze your arms straight. Exhale, press your hips into your mat. Then when you inhale, lift everything up. Feet up, legs up, chest up, chin up, look up to go up. Now drive your knuckles toward the back, toward your heels. And roll your shoulders up, open and back to really broaden across your collarbones. Each inhale, lift everything up. Exhale, drive your knuckles back. Take one more inhale, lift everything 1 inch, including your pinkies toward the ceiling. Then exhale, release. Look to your left. Bring your right cheek to your mat. Bring your arms by your sides, palms face up. Let your heels flop open. And get soft. Now, I like to stay perfectly still at this moment in class. Maybe you like that, or maybe you like to rock your hips side to side. Release your lower back a little bit. Maybe bend your knees, windshield wiper your legs if that feels good. Bring your hands on your shoulders. Press yourself up to standing on your knees in the middle of your mat. Set up for camel. This, of course, is a back bend, but think about it more as a heart opener. So don't just dump into your lower back, particularly people like me with a sensitive low back. So knees directly under your hips, shins straight back behind you, tops of your feet on your mat. Bring your hands to your low back, so your hands begin where your ribs end. So heel of your hand just below your bottom ribs. Touch your pinkies together, point your fingers down. Squeeze your elbows together. Inhale, press your hips forward. Exhale, drop your head back into the cradle between your shoulder blades, and you're in camel. Keep your eyes open and your mouth closed. Keep pressing your hips forward so your hips are stacked above your knees. Now you can even send a little weight back into the tops of your feet, but don't lean back. Actually press forward a little more and notice the stretch along the front of your thighs again. Shine your heart up toward the ceiling like I'm pulling you up with a string. You know what's going on? You can reach for one heel then the other, fingers on the inside, thumbs on the outside, but keep pressing your hips forward shining your heart up toward the ceiling. Use your belly to support your low back so you're not just crunching on your low back. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bring yourself out the way you went in. Hands your low back, head up last. So you drop your hips back toward your heels. You seat to your feet. Spend just a moment here in hero's pose. Maybe close your eyes and sit up nice and tall, low belly up and in, shoulders down and back. Heart forward, nice and proud. Think about the crown of your head floating up toward the ceiling, like somebody's gently pulling on your hair. Take a moment to appreciate just getting yourself through another day, through another week. Everybody's lives are a little more complicated and difficult, perhaps even tragic. Just take a moment, appreciate bringing yourself to your mat. Maybe you just sat here for an hour and rolled around side to side. It's completely okay. I've taken this opportunity of these at-home practices to just explore what I want to do at any given time. And let's take a breath to celebrate. Exhale into your lungs. Take a smooth breath in through your nose. And exhale. Let your eyes open. Set your legs out long in front of you. Set up for a seated forward fold. Nice little counter maneuver to that little back bend. Pull the fleshy bits away from your sit bones. Now squeeze your legs nice and tight. Flex your toes toward your face. Bring your hands by your sides. Press up so you're sitting as tall as you can. Suck your low belly up and in. Nice straight spine. Inhale, reach your fingertips to the ceiling. As you exhale, look forward, reach forward, and like somebody's in front of you pulling you as you come into your forward fold. Now, if you want to keep it nice and active, keep your spine straight. Press your tailbone back behind you. Keep your thighs engaged. Shine your heart toward your toes. So each inhale, arch your upper spine, flex your toes toward your face, and exhale, soften your belly toward your thighs. That's the active version. You can kind of do it dynamically with your breath. If you had enough of that, or for any other reason, you can bend your knees, you can drape your torso over your thighs, release your lower back. And if your knees are bent, you can try to straighten your legs. That also turns into more of an active stretch as well. Take one more inhale. Then exhale, paintbrush your fingertips along your mat or along your thighs. Come to the middle of your mat, maybe scoot yourself forward. Bend your knees, plant the soles of your feet on your mat. Reach your arms out long in front of you, palms parallel. Then as you exhale, as in super slow motion, roll yourself down to your mat. This is a race to be last, by the way. So roll your spine. Really now, tuck your tailbone in, try to flatten one vertebra at a time, just as slow as you can. You can't really do it one vertebra at a time. Just pretend that you can, just as slow as you can. This may take another, 3, 4, 5 breaths. Slowly roll yourself down. Everything along the whole front side body is engaged. And then when you finally get there, send your legs out long on your mat. Reach your arms up overhead. Grab opposite elbows. Now press your heels away from you. Press your tailbone into your mat. Press your navel toward the ceiling. Drive your elbows up overhead. Hunch your shoulders away from your ears. Fan open your rib cage. Stretch your whole front side body. Bend your knees, hug your knees up into your chest, curl yourself into a tight little yoga ball, roll side to side, forward, back. Bring the soles of your feet together, supine butterfly, interlace your fingers. Now bring the outside edges of your feet straight up toward the ceiling, and then pull your big toes down toward your heart. Right, just try to flatten as much of your spine into your mat as you can. This is a big low back release. Stay here, move it around if you want. If you're ready, happy baby, grab the outside edges of your feet. Active pose, bring your knees wider than your chest. Try to pull your knees out around your rib cage. Use your arm strength and resist that with your feet. Try to stamp your feet up toward the ceiling. Take a lion's breath. It's going to sound funny doing it on your own, but we're going to do it anyway. Exhale, empty your lungs. As you inhale, squeeze your face nice and tight like you just tasted a lemon. As you exhale, stick out your tongue. Release your legs long on your mat. Move yourself into final resting pose, Savasana. There's plenty of time after class. You can do any sorts of additional poses later. Let's just end class together. Find stillness.
Maybe flex your toes toward your face, inch one heel away from you, then the other, then relax. Maybe shimmy your shoulder blades up under your back rib cage, broaden across your collarbones. Maybe gently lift your head. You're not lifting it off your mat, but just use your neck muscles, lift some weight off your head, then relax. Just to notice the difference, make sure you're not holding up your head. Maybe press the back of your head into your mat ever so gently, then relax. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue, relax your nostrils, relax between and along your eyebrows, and let your eyeballs feel heavy sitting in their sockets. I'll leave you here for a minute or two. A couple of announcements if you want to keep an ear open for that. Well, mostly thank you for joining. Thank you for logging in and playing along. This is a different experience on both ends of the camera. But it's been working out well. I've enjoyed both teaching and practicing in this mode. If you're not familiar, Yoga to the People has always been and will always be a donation-based studio. There is a link on the website, yogatothepeople.com/donate, if you are inclined to donate, help keep this practice available to anybody. Don't put yourself in hardship. Nobody will ever be turned away for lack of funds. But you know, we have empty studios. We're still paying rent on those and trying to keep this whole thing going. It's a beautiful community that's been built over the years. I'm very proud and happy to be a part of. We have lots of other options available for classes. There are breathing pranayama classes. There's a master series class on Wednesday mornings. If you are interested in that, I suggest taking a look. There's yin yoga, a couple other offerings. Just look at the website, lots of options there. We also have our next teacher training coming up. It's going to at least start virtually. It's the end of May. I want to say about the 26th. You can look at the calendar, but go to the website if you want information. I will be hanging out after class to answer any questions about either training or anything that happened during class. If you have any questions on any of the poses, we can workshop some things, whatever you'd like to do. So thank you for that. I'd like to take one final breath together. You can exhale, empty your lungs. Take a smooth breath in, and then exhale with a sigh.